Hey guys, what's up? This is Zachy J, and today we're going to be talking about some breath work. What's up with breath work? And before we get into the breath work, let's just tie it into the last videos we've made. So, last video we're talking more or less about philosophy and the frameworks that you can use to build a powerful, robust consciousness. The ones that best suit you, the ones that show up in your life and make it easy. So now, not only do we have to show up with philosophy, we have to show up with a mind capable of understanding things, that is receptive to seeing things, but we also have to show up with technique too. Technique. We need that technique because it works. And what is that technique going to be? It's going to be breath work. Because breath work is transformative. It gets you going, right? Breath work helps you unlock parts of your mind and your body. It helps heal you. And all you have to do is get a little breath in and let a little breath out. So, what the main topic of this video will be, as we discuss a variety of things, through the course of it, is how long should I do breath work for, right? I'm a beginner. How long should I do this for? I've never touched breathwork a day in my life. What should I do? And I have answers for you. And these answers are based on science. That's the best part. So, I was reading this study, right, on breathwork, and it talks about intermittent hypoxic exposure and long-term hypoxic exposure. What does those fancy words mean? One of them fancy science terms. What's that all about? Well, intermittent hypoxic and hypoxic in general just means you're probably not regulated breathing properly. You're overexposed to, say, the negative breathing patterns. For instance, like sleep apnea or what they call email apnea. When you're working at the desk and your chin's down like this and you're just typing away, tip, 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 tip. You're just typing away on the laptop. You're not getting that oxygen-rich, deep belly breaths. You're not filling up your lungs. You're just barely getting by. And same thing in sleep, you're sleep apnea. You're just too busy snoring. And your body's like, I just need a breath. And I'm struggling here. So that creates conditions in our body that is hypoxic conditions. And guess what? You don't want that. You don't want no hypoxic conditions. So there's long-term hypoxic exposure and there's short-term intermittent hypoxic exposure, right? And what that means is that your short-term intermittent hypoxic exposure, somebody has been having these negative breathing patterns in this article for about, say, 10 days, okay? And then they're defining long-term exposure as somebody that has 30 days or more of this type of exposure, right? Or incorrect breathing patterns. Just kind of like struggling. Their body's on the struggle bus right now, right? So they're saying, what does recovery look like for people that are in this, intermittent hypoxic range, have been having bad breathing habits for about 10 days, right? And what they're finding is that if you're going to recover back to homeostasis, a body that is balanced and functioning, that's what that homeostasis means, a balanced little body. If you're returning back to homeostasis, it takes about an equivalent amount of time if you were in intermittent hypoxic range. So if you're intermittent hypoxic for 9 days, 10 days, 11 days, it's going to take that same amount of time to bounce back, okay? If it's 10 days, it's going to take you 10 days. And so this is where it gets interesting, right? This is where it gets interesting because that gives us a framework. That gives us a powerful little technique of what to do when it's time to learn breath work. And that technique is when you're starting out, let's make some assumptions here, Let's make at least some educated guesses. Let's assume that maybe you're not all dialed in. Because I know when I first started doing breath work, I wasn't dialed in. I was not dialed in at all. I was trying breath work because I was like, I need to get dialed in. I need to get somewhere else. I need to get a healthier body. I need to get a healthier mind. And I'm willing to try things, I'm willing to go to yoga. I'm willing to go to the gym. I'm willing, hey, this guy's huffing and puffing over there. Let me try it too. But the thing about it is, when I first tried, doing some breath work, I was like, is this all we're doing? Is all we doing huffing and puffing? When do we get to the part where it shows up on myself? Where do we get to the part where it shows up in my body, in my performance? Right? We all want to know that. And we also see other people that are just like, just do it. And so where are we at when we meet up with breath work? That's the question that I didn't know I needed to ask. But that's the question that we're going to answer today. Because where are you in your estimations, right? Are you already dialed in? Because if you're dialed in, you can probably feel breath work right here, right now. And all you got to do is get a nice little breath in. Get a breath in. Whew. Get a few of those in if you're dialed in. For all the people out here that are dialed, get those lungs moving, right? But some people over here, when I first started, I'm telling you, I was not dialed in. I was not dialed in at all. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying. I was trying. And so if I had known that because I had bad breathing habits, that it's going to take some time to rebuild, it's going to take some time to tap in, I would have taken the time. I wouldn't have been rushed. I wouldn't have felt like, oh, I did this thing, it didn't work. Oh, it's probably rubbish. It's probably trash. No. I would have been like, let me stick with it. Let me stay with the program and let me figure this thing out. So, let's just assume that if you're starting your breathwork journey, okay, that all you have to do is give it like 10 days. If you give it 10 days and you're intermittent, then you're going to feel the effects of it. That's when you're definitely going to feel the effects of it. But if you look at yourself and you're like, you know what? I have been mistreating my body. I've been not doing the right things for myself. I haven't been showing up in my life. Just, if you've been doing that for, like longer than 30 days, based off of this study, it's going to take you longer than 30 days to recover. Potentially, say like 40 days, even though you've only been, suffering with bad breathing patterns for like 30 days. And so you have to have a decent ability to estimate your ability, to estimate where you are now, so you can acquire the breath work as an ability and as a skill and as a technique. And I guarantee you, if you know where you're at, you'll be able to stay in the game better. Now, it's unfortunate if you've been long-term exposure to hypoxia, about what it's going to take to get back into the game. But it's also comforting to know that there are numbers behind that too. And I also notice, like, most people out here, they go to the gym every now and then. They do take care of themselves. Maybe they snore at night. Maybe they're wearing like nasal tape, you know what I mean, or taping their mouth, or having a nose bridge to make themselves better. Like, totally get it. And for them, breath work is right around the corner. The results are right around the corner. Your ability to feel breath work actually showing up in your life is right around the corner. Don't give up. Just give it 10 days. That's all we're asking. We're asking that once you start your breathwork journey, that all you do is stay in the game for 10 days and start seeing transformations happen. Just trust that if you invest into yourself for 10 days, you're going to be like, oh, I get it. I get breathwork now. And I can't wait. I can't wait to get a few good breaths in. I can't wait to practice on having a deep belly breath. I can't wait on practicing, flexibility throughout the whole thoracic cavity. I can't wait to breathe into all the parts of my body. You're going to be all snuggling up with your breath because it's going to be that fun. So, now you know a little bit of an intro into technique, and this will help keep you grounded on your path, and this will help get you across the river and into a beautiful place where you're happy, healthy, wealthy, full of magnetic energy, full of vital prana, full of the breath of life. Thank you guys for showing up and taking a listen. I deeply appreciate it very much. I do. I would just ask if you could give me a like and a subscribe. Anything you do helps out tremendously. We're all out here building consciousness together, so let's make it a better place. I hope to talk to you soon. I hope to see all beautiful faces in real life, and I hope to share more important lessons that have helped transform my life with all of you. Have a great rest of your day, and don't forget to take some breaths along the way. Have a good one, y'all.